So I'm just going to give you a quick look at our lovely black cupboards and let me know if you can see what is wrong. If I hold my hand up here, you can see all of that is just starting to come unstuck. G'day campers, welcome back to 1010 Adventures, and been an interesting week. We've well, I suppose we should have a look back at what happened in last week's episode, which at the time of filming this hasn't been extremely popular. So I guess the second segment in that not many people have watched. So at the start of this video you would have seen a bit of a last week's recap. We had some issues with our van, in particular the cupboards and the laminate coating, that lovely black gloss coating was all peeling away, bubbling, etc. So we have had the doors replaced. So I just thought I'd use this episode just to talk a little bit about how easy the warranty experience has been with MDC. And it's been really easy. On, was it Wednesday morning? So today's Sunday. Wednesday morning, Mark came and picked the van up, took it back off to their showroom, handed it over to some cabinet makers who cut out and drilled all of the appropriate holes, fittings, fixtures, etc. for the cupboard doors. Now, the reason for that is when you receive the doors, or when MDC receive them, there is actually no there's no hardware fitting holes pre-drilled into them. The reason Mark said for that is that there can be tiny little differences between each vans during the manufacturing process, so they don't just pre-cut and prefab all the doors. They'll cut the basic shape, but they won't pre-fill the fixtures and fittings, so the holes for the door handles, etc. They don't pre-do that. So that has to be done by cabinet makers. So I guess the next part of this is to show you how that's turned out. So, as I said, Mark picked the van up on Wednesday night, took it off. Cabinet makers have had it. He brought it back to us on Friday morning, and you'll be able to see that all the doors have been redone. So all of our cupboards are brand new. They haven't left any of them, even though there were some that weren't affected by the issue. They've all been replaced, every single last one of them. So even though it may only have affected one or two of the doors, MDC take their warranty process very seriously, and when there's a fault with one, it's assumed they've all come out of the same batch, and so they've replaced everything. So there is not a single cupboard door or drawer cover in the van now that was here when we bought it originally. They've all been replaced, which says a lot. They haven't taken any shortcuts. And again, I think there might be a few people out there going, but you bought Chinese, what do you expect, blah, blah, blah. Look, at the end of the day, we haven't spent small money on this. We possibly could have gotten a Jayco for similar sort of money. Maybe not with all the features that we've gotten, but we could have potentially bought a Jayco. But I've got to say that we did look at it, and the build quality in this is actually better. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get some hate in the comments for that, but we looked really closely, and there was a lot of just a lot about the Jayco. It's a lighter build. So yes, this is a heavy van. It weighs quite a lot. As anybody who's seen my video on GVM and GCM, this is a heavy unit. However, the Jayco, yes, it's lighter, but the build just wasn't as good. It didn't feel as sturdy when we were in the van, I guess is the best way to put it. So, look, I'm sure that the warranty experience with Jayco would be exactly the same. We wouldn't have had any issues getting warranty work done. But I guess from an import brand, I know from having watched a lot of videos on other brands that the warranty experience has been a bit mixed for some people. So I can only speak for the couple of videos that I've seen around the MDC product, that MDC's warranty process is very easy. If you have a look at the warranty process that Cam Wild Touring put in, they did have a couple of problems, but they all got sorted very easily. Yes, Cam is a popular YouTuber, so you could say that maybe that warranty process was, they know who he is. Maybe they've decided to, go that little bit extra mile. Again, much like Cam has said, we're not sponsored by MDC. We've bought this retail. We don't get any kickbacks or anything else. And if anybody wants to say, about Cam's video around his warranty experience, it could be because he's, well-known YouTuber. Well, I'm not a well-known YouTuber. I've got 83 followers, 83 subscribers at this point, so we're still very, very small. We're a nobody in the scheme of things. So there's no way that a company like MDC are going to care that much about anything we have to say about the process. So the only conclusion I can say is that this is just okay. Yes, this is our experience, but it has been a very, very positive experience overall. Yes, we were disappointed that we had something go wrong, but as I said in the previous video, if that's the worst that goes wrong, really, that's not a lot to complain about, and it's been fixed so quickly with very little fuss. We didn't even have to drop the van in anywhere to get it fixed. Now, I know with other companies that may be different, but certainly for MDC, they came, they picked the van up, they took it off, got all the repairs done, and then brought it back. No fuss for us at all. It's not like we were going away during the week. All we had was a empty spot in our driveway for a couple of days where the van was. Everything was handled for us. No extra costs, no nothing. They've gone out of their way to come and pick it up, which is, I think, especially important at the moment, given that we are in essentially a COVID lockdown. They're still classified as an essential service, so they can come and pick it up. We didn't have to go and risk moving around and moving through metro from regional to metro to go and get it to the cabinet makers. Everything was done for us. So if anybody is questioning whether or not they want to look at an MDC, and look, the experience could be the same for the other brands. Certainly from my conversations with some of the dealerships that we spoke to with other brands, the warranty process was not as good. But if anybody's got any questions, particularly around MDC and the warranty process, and they're thinking that, I'm buying Chinese and it's going to be not a good experience when things go wrong, that's certainly not been the case for us. And other people that I have spoken to have also said the same thing. It hasn't been an issue for them to get things fixed. MDC take a lot of pride in their product and they look after it. So if you've got any questions on this, please comment down below. I'd love to get some more feedback and some more questions around information you might be interested in. And just any questions around the van. Look, obviously we haven't had an opportunity to go as off-road as we'd like. The current pandemic is causing all sorts of problems for everyone. We're not just not able to get out and about as much as we'd like. However, look, even just sitting in here at the moment, I'm sitting on the bench seat, and it's comfy. Yeah, look, anybody who's got any questions, please put them down below. We'd love to tell you more about the van and our experience with it so far. So, but that's it for the van at the moment. I guess the next thing is to talk a little bit about the Prado, and I'm going to do that from the driver's seat, so I will be back in a moment. That's been a very interesting process to date, so watch this space. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, well, I'm now sitting in the Prado. So I'm going to run some footage now of what happened when I attempted to take this car to TJM in Carrum Downs and record some footage for you. It was not a success, and it's all Toyota's fault. and you might understand that when you see this.
Attention, in about 32 kilometres, traffic jam. 1 minute, delay estimated currently. Please obey all traffic regulations.
Okay, I'm just, apart from getting driven slightly.
In the roundabout, take the second exit onto Harrell Road. Caution.
As I was saying before, apart from being driven slightly mad by the overly verbose stereo system in this car, I've just done a bit of a drive out through a back way, so
Proceed about 2 kilometres, turn left onto Main Road. You have entered a school zone.
what am I trying to say here? I've spoken about the bull bar. I think hopefully I haven't had to edit it out. So,
Please obey all traffic regulations.
even though I didn't pick up
You
the
have
speed
left
change.
the school zone.
I feel like I'm on an aircraft.
In 500 metres, turn left onto Main Road.
Anybody who's missing flying at the moment, buy one of these, because you're going to get that boom every time. It's exactly the same tone, sound, etc. as the pilot alert.
Caution, approaching school zone. Turn left ahead at the traffic light.
You're going to get the same bong as you get whenever the pilot turns on the safety alert signs. There's a no smoking sign, seatbelt sign. Turns them off. And you even get that very pleasant female voice telling you all sorts of wonderful, lovely things that you need to be doing that you really don't need to be told about. So, it's if nothing else, it'll keep you awake while you're driving.
You have entered approaching roundabout, take the second exit.
You know it's trying to say too much when it tries to tell you one thing and then has to talk over itself to tell you the next bit of things, the next bit of information it has to tell you about.
Please obey all traffic regulations.
I would love to hear Jeremy Clarkson doing a review of this. It just won't shut up! It just won't shut up! Shut up! Shut up! It is too much, Toyota. My God, it is unbelievable. I will say, editing these videos is going to be a freaking nightmare.
Please obey all traffic regulations.
So, yeah, this car talks to you a lot, like an excessive amount. It is absolutely insane how much this car tries to tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and it's as annoying as all buggery. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of modern safety features in cars. I think they actually detract from people paying attention to what they're doing on the road and leave them feeling more like they can be distracted. But that's just me. I'm not going to go into the whole driving thing at the moment and people's skills, etc., because it tends to get it tends to go places we don't want it to. So what I will show you though is how I managed to turn off that constant feed. I believe the voice name is Betty, from something I read somewhere when I was researching how in the hell do I turn this off. Apparently the voice's name is Betty. Betty is very annoying. Toyota, if you do watch this, just turn it down. It's too much. You would have seen in that video I did a very poor Jeremy Clarkson impersonation, but there was one point where I was literally going, please just shut up, please stop it. It is driving me mental. So I have found out how to turn off that overly verbose voice. So to do that, we need to go into the menu settings of the head unit. Okay, so you can see here I'm in the menu settings. To get there, if we go into menu, setup, and that takes us into this screen here. What we want to do is scroll down to navigation, detailed navigation settings, and I've turned off a few of these settings, the unverified roads guidance warning, because that was telling me every time I went onto a road that might have been off-road or a bit of a track, it was telling me to please obey all road regulations, which honestly, I'm off-road, it's kind of hard not to. So if we move further down, just scroll all the way down to the bottom, as you can see, there's quite a lot of settings in here. If we go into speed limit settings, if I turn these on, that turns Betty on, and Betty will tell you every 5 minutes, and I don't know what it is, but it's saying here that I've got a 5 km/h leeway. So if I'm going in a school zone, if I hit 45, it'll tell me please obey all road regulations. That doesn't seem to be the case. My speedo was telling me 5 kilometres before I reached the speed limit that I needed to obey all road regulations. And whether that's something to do with whether I was accelerating a little bit quicker than the car expects, if I'm being a little bit of a lead foot. I'm not generally a lead foot, but that could be something to do with it. I don't really know. If anybody does know the answer to that, please comment below. But either way, to turn Betty off, just turn these settings off. Unless you really want to be told every time you might be slightly over the limit or approaching the limit or just under the limit that you need to obey all road regulations, and being told that every 30 seconds. If you want that, leave it on, but honestly it's just too much. So I have turned Betty off. So I still have a couple of settings that she does tell me about. I do have settings where she tells me about speed cameras, point-to-point cameras, etc. And I do that just because I am, as I've said in previous videos, I believe I'm a safe driver. I haven't had a speeding ticket in over 10 years. But it's nice to just be made aware. The one incident that I did mention that I had to give I got let off with a warning. If I'd had something telling me, oh look, there's a speed camera ahead or whatever, I may have been just a little bit more aware of what the speed limit was. I know there were some issues there where the signage was not great, etc., but it might have helped. So I'll leave it on just as a reminder for myself, to ensure that I am being a safe driver, I guess. But being told every 30 seconds to please obey all road regulations is a bit much. So yeah, Toyota, if you're watching, please just tone it down. Other than that, I will say that this has been a very, very good experience overall with the stereo. The stereo itself is actually quite a good unit. The Apple CarPlay Android Auto has been a godsend after my last vehicle. So the Fortuner didn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and that drove me absolutely mental. The only reason I can say they did that, none of my cars have had it previously. My wife's car does have it, so if I drive Carla's Subaru, I do get the Apple CarPlay Android Auto, and it's one of those things that you don't know what you're missing until you've tried it. And once you've tried it, I think anybody that's owned a Toyota knows that, historically speaking, their head units have been, they're shit. There's no polite way of putting it. They are just awful, or have been historically. Even this in itself is not great. The navigation's okay. I'm still seeing, this is a brand new car, and I'm still seeing intersections where there's been a roundabout removed 3 years ago that it's still saying roundabout ahead. So they're out of date. However, if you're not using the Toyota navigation, it's not really an issue. That said, finding how to turn Betty off, as I've just gone through, well, there's nothing in the stereo manual about it. There's nothing in a lot of the settings, so bit of a challenge. That was a bit of a challenge to get working. I will also say getting Android Auto working initially was a bit of a challenge, but it turned out it was my own fault. I had a very short USB-C cable for my phone. It turns out that was only for charging, so it wasn't communicating with the car, so I thought there was something else going wrong. So again, idiot. But other than that, look, the car is fantastic. I absolutely love it. And the bull bar on the front of this, the off-road animal bull bar, even driving through my local township and seeing other four-wheel drivers, and we all know if you're a four-wheel driver, you'll you'll give a good look at another car. Oh, what's he got? What do they set up as? I'm getting some very longing looks, not just long looks, but longing looks. So you can see people going, ooh, as I'm driving past. So it's nice. It's nice to be in a car where people are eyeing it off. I'd like to think they were eyeing me off, but I'm not that silly. So look, that's it for today's video. Again, hope you've enjoyed it. Please comment below, like, subscribe, put the bell on. We'd love to get more growth in the channel. We're seeing some more subscribers coming through, which is great, so really appreciate it for those that have subscribed. Hopefully as we get a little bit bigger, we might even be able to start putting out some, I'd like to be able to put some little giveaways and things for people that subscribe to the channel. Don't know if that's going to happen just yet, but it's certainly in the plans for the future, as is actually getting away and going camping rather than just these talking head videos. Hopefully, we're here in Victoria, we are getting closer. It doesn't look like our shire is going to be let out of lockdown anytime soon. It looks like we're going to be in with the rest of Metro Melbourne, so our first camping trip isn't likely to be until the end of October, if we're lucky. We have got some things planned. We have got some stuff that we want to do. I've got hopefully some little surprises in with what we're planning, but we'll get there. Until next time, take it easy. We'll see you in the next one.
Please obey all traffic regulations.